But first, there's no denying life at home has got even harder this lockdown, particularly for parents, with working from home, homeschooling and the endless chores created by everyone being under one roof all day, every day. It's leaving us all a bit frazzled, I think. A new report has highlighted that women are bearing the brunt of these stresses. So we did ask you online, are you on the verge of a mum meltdown? And loads of you got in touch. In fact, 60% of you said that you were. I mean, is it unsurprising to you, Nadia?
No.
Because you've been homeschooling for a long time.
I actually thought it would be 90% of people. Yeah, we've been homeschooling for 6.5 years, and Mark and I are constantly standing back and going, how is everybody doing it this way? Because it's so inflexible. I mean, live lessons, a lot of people are doing from, you know, proper school day. But if you're also having to do your full office day at home as well, how is that actually happening? It's unimaginable. Like today, I've got a lot of things on, Mark's got a lot of things on, so Kiki's learning with us. Of course, she does a lot on her own as well, will be from 6 till 8.
Yeah.
And that's how we do it. In lots of ways, my life for the last 6.5 years has been preparing for a pandemic, because I'm used to being with my kids all day long. But I sympathise, because it is stressful.
It is. I think it's stressful for all parents. And, you know, we're talking about mums and we're talking about dads, but the reality of it, and what so many of these statistics show, is that women are overwhelmingly bearing the brunt for what's been happening during the pandemic with the homeschooling and juggling jobs, for example. You know, and there was a friend of mine who was so overwhelmed by this last week that she collapsed. Because, you know, when you look at the list of the reactions that your body can have to things like anxiety, dizziness is one of those things. And I think this week especially, I feel like I've heard from a lot of my friends who have said this week they've reached a point where it's just like, I just don't know if I can do this.
And what, she literally just passed out?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Because I think it's just so overwhelming. And I can imagine it's difficult for you as well, Judi, because you're doing it by yourself.
Yes, I mean, you know, replying to what you just said about your friend, a couple of days ago, I felt really dizzy, just out of nowhere. And I think it's just a whole, like, there's no let up. So you're just constantly working, you're constantly trying to make sure they're online, you know, you're setting up emails, you're doing whatever, meetings, and then there's no break. For me, I was having a conversation with my friend the other day, and I was just saying to her, I miss her so much, because we would usually got a little network of other mums, whether they're single or married, and we'd always meet up like every other Friday, and the kids would go off and play together in one of their rooms or in the front room, and that would be our little bit of support. You know, she might wash up, I might cook, and you realise how much you actually rely on that. So not having that and having that taken away is so hard. And I find that I'm at a stage where it's like, what's the point of having a day off, because we're stuck in the house anyway? So I'm just like, yes, I'm working all the time. You know, I'm doing film, I'm filming, I'm meetings, which I'm so grateful for and I'm happy for. But you do miss that kind of escapism with your friends and having people that can come in and help you.
Well, Lauren, for the last few weeks, has been working in a nursery with children with special needs, and she has absolutely loved it, because it means she gets 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, away from the girls, who she loves more than anything, but they are demanding and that. So I've been able to have the children, because I'm in their childcare bubble, on a Monday. But last Saturday, I was, like, indoors. Everyone was out. Mark's been working at a COVID centre. Lauren and Steve were out with the kids, taking them for a walk in a park. Bobby girl was out. Louis was out. So I thought, what do I do? I thought, oh, no, I'll just get in the car and go for a little drive. So I just drove around my area, and then I thought, I'll drive through Regent's Park and I might have a little walk while I'm there. Anyway, as I got back in the car after my walk, I was driving and I could see 2 policemen and a police van there. So I thought, oh no, am I supposed to be in this area? Am I allowed to be out? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I know, so I pulled over for a minute, and then they must have thought, she looks dodgy, she's pulled over now. So I thought, oh God, I've got to go past them now. So I drove up to the police and he went, over here, over here. So I thought, oh no. So I went, hello. He went, hello. He went, you were doing 23 in a 20. I said, oh, sorry, I never speed. I'm like, I curb crawl, I do. Anyway, he said, it's only...
I'm not sure that's a good thing.
We know what you mean. Anyway, he said, it's only just changed to 30, so you know, don't worry about it. He said, what's your name? So I said, Barbara Streisand. So he went, I don't think so, Linda. You haven't got the voice.
But I mean, that just goes to show the kind of pressure that we're under. You know, you're going stir crazy, get in the car for a little drive, and then you're panic-stricken that you've done. And I think we're just living, teetering on the edge. And I know this might sound sexist, but I don't really mind that much because I think it's the truth. Just the way that females have friendships, I find there's an intensity that I just don't see in the same way with men. Like, you know, with my friends, we don't even FaceTime anymore. We just do it on open call because, like, even to just see each other without being able to hang on each other and smell each other and cry and overeat and drink too much it's almost got too painful now. And I think that's a real pressure valve for me is my friendships and going out with my friends. And I can just go, ksh, because I think often as women, we're the family therapist, you know, and there's lots of sandwich generations, you know, the older and the younger, and you're like, you are juggling. I mean, I love being the family therapist. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that from a martyred point of view, but even I'm finding it a bit overwhelming with this because it's just like there's no escape.
It's a lot, and you're right, it's the escapism. You know, as women, oh, my goodness, I'd like sit on the sofa at my friend's house and, you know, we make up a bottle of wine and watch silly things on telly and we'd chat, we'd laugh, we'd cry.
Have
you know,
a bit of a row.
Closeness. Yeah. And I, you know, I think perhaps all of us have underestimated just how important those friendships are in our lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I miss my friends hugely. And you know, we all try our best to keep in touch with them and make sure everyone's doing all right. But there's nothing can beat a hug from one of your best mates. Nothing can beat that.
It's funny how much we do use our senses. Like, I want to smell people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you give a hug and everyone's got their own smell. I miss that.
Yeah.
But do you know what? We have got, guys, some of the most heartbreaking messages in from women. Thank you so much. I'm homeschooling a 12-year-old while having a newborn. I got COVID in hospital and thought I had postnatal depression. This is from Rihanna. It's been so difficult and stressful. I was robbed of my pregnancy. Now I'm being robbed of my maternity leave and I'm feeling completely under pressure. Well, I'm not surprised. That is so tough. Tanya, in the first lockdown, I was working from home, taking care of my 3-year-old, whilst also suffering from hypermesis. That's the condition where you're sick all the time, isn't it? Yeah. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. I gave birth in November. It's a lot easier being on maternity leave, but also hard not being able to do much with the children. And this is what you felt, because you've got 2 little ones.
Yeah, it's
not
hard.
being able to mix them with other children.
Exactly, but I also think it's important to find that time to yourself as well. So some of my local friends, because you are allowed to meet person one-on-one, it's just going for a walk on a weekend without any children and just getting some space and some air, which is good. But look, if you're struggling with anything that we've just been talking about, you can go to our website where you'll find helplines and information that will be able to help you.